G'day guys and welcome back to Jans_Gaming for another Dokkan Battle video. So for today's video we do have the next World Tournament, the first one that we will be sharing with JP with SYNCED. So with that we get a bunch of new EZAs as well as this new Yamcha. So thought it would be worthwhile going through the EZA details and Yamchas and sort of determining whether I think it is worthwhile you guys spending your currency to get the EZA medals for any of them. So we will start off with the TEQ Yamcha here. So he is just going to be an SSR. He won't awaken into a TUR yet. So his leader skills 2 key, 70% to tech, which is pretty irrelevant. It's sort of, with these SSRs, you're looking for a good base, because from that base you could sort of predict a little bit what they are going to turn into when they awaken. So he raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and has a medium chance of stunning. So pretty good super attack effect there, especially if that gets upgraded to a great raise of defense. That could be pretty impactful super effect. So we do like that there. For his passive, you got attack and defense 150. Got a medium chance to dodge, so that already starts us off pretty well. That's 30%. You could assume that maybe that gets upgraded to a higher chance to become 50. Medium chance of performing crit, same sort of situation, and it does sort of boost your hidden potential build with this guy. So it just eliminates the need to really go for a crit there. He gets an additional attack and defense 20% per tournament participants category, self-excluded up to 100%. So that's pretty easy. We do have Topo now, so we do have a good tournament participants lead. We gain an additional attack and defense 100% when performing a super per world tournament category ally attacking in the same turn. So if you have the 2 world tournament allies in the same turn, that does get this guy an extra 200% attack and defense. That's probably not too ideal because World Tournament does need a lot more buffs here, but anyway, we continue. So we get key +2 plus an additional chance of evading enemies' attack, including super, plus 10% per Turtle School category ally attacking in the same turn. So that's nice. Turtle School is obviously a really easy one to fulfill. So an extra 20% dodge there. We do know that they now stack, so that should just give him a flat 50% chance to dodge, which is good. And then we gain an additional 100% attack and chance of performing a crit plus 50% when HP is 86% or less. So that's only attack. That's not going to be all too relevant for us here because he is obviously a free-to-play unit. Categories, we got World Tournament, DB Saga, Worthy Rivals, Kamehameha, Bond and Master and Disciple, Earthlings, Turtle School, Earthbred Fighters, and Tournament Participants. So I do see a bit of a vision here, mainly as sort of a dodging unit. Maybe you bring him as like a floating dodger, but yeah, who knows what direction they go with there. But what we can switch across into is the units that we do know their details, and we have the STR Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyan Man. So this was one I was looking forward to. I used to love rocking this guy back in the day with his support. So his leader skill becomes STR 3 key 100. For his super attack effect, greatly raise attack and defense, so the 50% there. And then also lowers attack and defense, so that's pretty nice. That is a good super attack effect. So for his stats, or for his passive, we get 3 key 180, an additional 20% with each attack performed, up to 58%. So if you do get the triple super off, well, 3 attacks off, he's fully built up there. Super class allies get 3 key and a 30% attack and defense, which is really good, plus an additional 10% attack and defense for characters who also belong to Defenders of Justice or tournament participants. So potentially giving out 3 key 40% is obviously awesome support effect there. Got an additional attack and defense plus 58% when there is an extreme class enemy, so clearly you want to only be bringing this guy against those extreme class enemies because they also lose 20% attack and 58% defense. So he launches an additional super when facing one enemy, which is probably what you're going to be finding yourself like with this guy pretty often. And then, so if you add on the hidden potential there, that's where you can get fully built up in 1 turn. And then guards when facing 2 or more enemies. So looking at his raw numbers there, I'm going to assume that his stats just aren't going to be high enough guard when facing 2 or more enemies is probably not going to be relevant enough, I guess. Like he needed either. It's actually sad to say, but he needed some type of like defensive mechanic, whether that be dodge or damage reduction, sort of like Yamcha had. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this Gohan, while his support could be useful in something like Battlefield, in terms of difficult content, he's going to get blasted. So that does suck, because I was really hoping that this guy was going to be good. So the next unit we have is the TEQ Cell, again a support class unit, so I have somewhat high hopes for him. So he's got the TEQ 3 key 100%, massively raises attack and defense on his super attack, so that's 100% attack and defense. That's pretty big if you're getting off multiple supers there. So let's have a look at his passives. So attack and defense 200%. Extreme class allies get the 3 key 30. So he's a bit of an opposite of Gohan by the looks of this. So gains an additional, extreme class, we got the 3 key 30% plus an additional 10% to those who also belong to either artificial life forms or tournament participants. Yeah, I feel like we make that work. Artificial life forms with all the boos. Additional 100% attack and defense when there's a superclass enemy. So obviously you just want to bring this guy against superclasses, because they then lose the 20% and 60% defense as well. So this is definitely better than Gohan, because Cell reduces damage by 30% when only facing one enemy, launches the additional super when facing 2 or more. So that is the opposite of Gohan, and that's definitely the much better effect here. If you can get an additional off with Cell, getting that double 100% defensive raise, that could potentially get him to a point where he could maybe take normals. I'm guessing like 30% damage reduction isn't the craziest amount, but I don't know. I'll be interested to use this guy. He does have big bad bosses. That is one thing that I always remember about this Cell, and he is on a ton of teams, so could potentially be worthwhile testing him out. At the very least, 3 key 30% is helpful. Extreme always needs as many options as we can get. So I'm going to say that I probably will use my Awakening medals on this Cell. I think we may be able to find a bit of value here, even if that is as small as just being in battle, like Ultimate Clash. Support in Ultimate Clash is always really important. So I think this guy is going to be worth awakening into his EZA. So the final one here we've got is the Cyborg Tau. So his leader skill, is 3 key 100%. For his super attack, he greatly raises attack and raises defense. So 50% attack, 30% defense, causes supreme damage and a great chance. You don't see too many units with a great chance of stunning, to be honest. So that is a 70% chance to stun. Does give him usability in something like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road. In terms of teams, does have a few options there. So let's see. Check out his passive. So he gets the attack and defense 200%, and attacks guaranteed to hit when performing a super. Guaranteed to hit is nice, but you're probably not bringing him into the difficult content where bosses can actually dodge. When an enemy is hit by the character's super, reduces damage received from that enemy by 50%. Okay, that's not too shabby. Because as I said before, 99% of the bosses that you are going to be going up against in difficult content are that of just one boss. So getting 50% damage reduction, clearly you're going to have to use this guy as a slot 2 or 3 unit, but that can be pretty valuable there. We get key 1 up to 4 and attack and defense plus 50% up to 200% with each attack received. So he can get up to 400% stats there. He is a free-to-play unit, so his stats are lower, but that is a pretty big number there. And then he gets key 1 and attack and defense 100% when there is an Earthling or tournament participants category enemy, which we do have the Supreme Magnificent Battle for the Universal Survival Saga, so you could actually get that out in a lot of difficult content. Performs a crit when there is a Turtle School enemy, and there is quite a lot of Gokus to go up against as well. So this guy is actually pretty interesting, I think. If you've got that full Like, yeah, if you've got 500% there, you get your super off, you get the 50% damage reduction. This guy, yeah, you get defense on super. If you get him some additional, fill him out with dodge. I feel like his links are obviously terrible, so we're not going to be able to get much at all from there. Um, and then, like, I guess on a couple of these teams, he could be pretty useful. Like, Revenge doesn't have very good options. World Tournament's obviously got pretty terrible options, so does Earthlings. Yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't EZA this guy straight away because I don't think he's going to be like your go-to unit in any sort of content at the moment. But I think there's definitely opportunity in the future if you sort of keep this guy up your sleeve, slide him away into the back pocket, that he could potentially be a useful unit. So there you go, guys. That's the overview of the 4 units that we're getting here. I think Tau could be interesting, and I probably will EZA sell for his support as well. But let me know your thoughts on the 4 of them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.